edition from Ryle, Wisconsin, Mrs. Carney. And our ancient returning champion, a teaching assistant from Ryle, Wisconsin, Mrs. Google. Entering the studio is the host of Jeopardy, Ryle Edition, Mr. Jeopardy.
Thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen and students of Ryle Elementary. On behalf of all of us, welcome to Ryle's favorite answer and question game show, Jeopardy Ryle Edition. You know how we play it. We provide the categories and the answers, and then up to our three contestants to give us the right question. Remember, phrase it in a question. Players, as you know, anytime you recognize an answer, you are free to buzz in. However, I do want to caution you about the Jeopardy. If you are wrong, the value of the answer will be deducted from your score. But to help you add to your winnings, we have hidden somewhere on the board, not one, not two daily doubles, but 5, because this is a special Ryle edition. That will be read by our very own Ryle kindergarten students. If you're lucky enough to uncover the daily doubles, then you have a chance to double any or all of your winnings up to that point in the first round. And it's very important that you try to win as much money as possible, because only the player with the most cash at the end of the day will wind up keeping her winnings. Alright, we will play the game for one round. If you're all set to begin, take your ready positions. But do not buzz in until the answer is fully exposed and or read by me. If you're ready, then let us play Jeopardy, Ryle Edition, and celebrate Ryle's 150 years of existence. If I could have my scorers take their position up front, we have Mrs. Roll helping to keep score with her son Owen. We have Mrs. P helping keep score with Nicholas. So Nicholas, would you like to join Mrs. P up front and help her keep score? And then we have Leah that will be taking score with Mr. Gary. So give them all a hand. Scorers, are you ready? Ryle Elementary, are you ready to play Jeopardy Ryle Edition? This is pretty hard to hold a microphone and do this at the same time. You gotta get some, one of those clip on your shirts here. Alright, let's go over the categories. We have geography, we have demographics, notable people, government politics, history, and business. And for all of you out there and for our contestants, it's all going to be about Ryle's 150 years. Okay, we will start with our returning champion, Mrs. Boobles. Would you like to pick a category?
Business is for 100, please.
We are going to do business for 100. Maybe. There we go. This current business formerly provided entertainment as the Ryle Theater and Opera House. We have Mrs. Free who buzzed in first. Would you like to give your answer?
What is Patel's Theater Bar, not Patel's Theater?
I'm going to have to go with Mrs. K, our judge. Is that an acceptable answer? I believe that is an acceptable answer. So for Mrs. Free, if we could add up 100 points. Mrs. Free, the board is yours. All right. By the mid-1920s, this local Ryle business was a Chevrolet dealership, and in 1941, it started selling oil and gasoline. We have, oh, I did forget to reset it. Oh, I failed already as the best game show host ever. You can buzz in anytime. This is free. What is your answer?
What is Strauss Chevrolet?
What is Strauss Chevrolet? That would be a correct answer. What is now known as Strauss Mobile. So that will be worth 200 points. Mrs. Free, I have to reset it, so you contestants just keep reminding me I forget about this. I got too much fun on. It's my first show. All right, you're gonna go with business for 300? All right, let's go for business for 300. My computer is not very fast here. Adams Motor Sales, formerly located at the corner of Lincoln Avenue and West Lion Street, was Ryle's first drive-in gas station and an auto dealer of this make of automobile. Mrs. Boobles.
What is Ford?
You are correct. Mrs. Boobles just scored $300. $300. All right, we have Mrs. Boobles in charge of the board. Would you like to pick a category, please?
Notable people for 300, please.
Ooh, we do have a daily double. Notable people. All right, let's see who our kindergarten student is going to be. Before she comes, or he, you need to write down on your marker board how much you are going to wager. And right now, you have $300, Mrs. Booble, so no more than $300. Jack Becker, come on up. You get to read the Daily Double. Everyone give him a hand. Are you ready, Jack?
She has participated in 3 Olympic Games in the sport of curling.
Wow, everyone give him a hand. Great job, Jack. She has participated in 3 Olympic Games in the sport of curling. Are you ready with your answers? You are correct. Who is Debbie McCormick? And she wagered $300, so that brings her total up to $600. All right, Mrs. Booble, thank you for your patience. Would you like to pick a category?
Notable people for 200.
Notable people for 200. Jacob Lowe came to this area in 1843 and established this town located west of Ryle in 1846. Mrs. Free, click on the buzzer again. All right, Mrs. Free, what is your answer?
Where is Loudville?
What is the township of Loudville or Lowville? Congratulations. That was worth 200 points. So that brings Mrs. Free up to $500. Puts her in second place, right behind our returning champion, Mrs. Booble. All right. You're in charge, Mrs. Booble. Or Mrs. Free, sorry.
Businesses for 400.
We are going to go with businesses for 400. Businesses for 400. Oh, another daily double. Another daily double. Let's see who is going to come up here and read businesses for 400. Would you like to wager your dollar amount? I believe right now, what is Mrs. Free up to? $500, so no more than $500. And I would like Tucker Lang to come on up. He is going to be our guest reader of this question. After the answer. Are you ready? A fighter.
A player on April 11, 1913, quickly consumed Hotel Anna and nearly consumed the Royal Masonic Lodge, which is now selling groceries as this business.
All right, Tucker, thank you. You can have a seat. Great job, everyone. Clap for him. A fire on April 11, 1913 quickly consumed Hotel Anna and nearly consumed the Royal Masonic Lodge, which is now selling groceries as this business. $400 is your wager.
What is Mark's Market?
You are absolutely correct. That will bring Mr. Free's total up to $900, which brings you into the lead. All right, Mrs. Free, you are in command of our board. We are going and finishing businesses for $500. In 1873, this part of Ryle consisted of 19 buildings on East Ryle Street and 14 buildings on Lincoln Avenue. Are we still thinking over here? Well, while they think, I think this is a good time to get to know our contestants. What do you Ryle Elementary students believe? Should we get to know our contestants? Alright, let's get to know our contestants while they think of the answer to this question. Let's start with Mrs. Free. Mrs. Free, you wrote down in your player bio that you used to go to the local A&W here in Ryle with your brother Tom. Is that true?
That is true.
Anything you'd like to tell us about your experience at the A&W that used to be located in Ryle?
It was one of the first A&Ws that we could go to in a small town, and it was delicious.
Well, you kindergartners think, would you like to have an A&W here in Ryle? Mrs. Kearney, you put in your player bio that you have 2 dogs who like to swim in your pool. They go by Hank and Gabby, is that correct? And I hear there was an incident the other day with one of the dogs. Would you like to tell us more about it?
Yeah, my dog jumps in the pool with him. He just jumps over the side whenever he feels like jumping in.
But I heard the other day he jumped in the pool and there was no way to get out. So how did you solve that problem? Putting the ladder or the steps quickly in the pool. Alright, Wendy. Mrs. Boobles, we have your player bio here, and it says that you married your high school sweetheart. Is that true?
Oh, I did.
And is he from Ryle?
He is also a Ryle graduate, yes.
Oh, okay. And it says, another interesting fact, that you used to be the coroner of Columbia County. Is that true?
Deputy coroner for Columbia County.
You didn't meet your high school sweetheart on that job shortly after, did you?
I did not.
All right. So now that we've gotten to know our contestants from Ryle, Wisconsin, let's see if they thought any more about the answer to the question of what part of Ryle consisted of 19 buildings on East Ryle Street and 14 buildings on Lincoln Avenue. All right, I believe time is up. We are going to give you the answer. What is the business district of Ryle, or also known as downtown? Okay, we still have a lot of categories open, but we've just closed down businesses, and I can't remember now after interviewing all our players who's got command of the board. All right, Mrs. Free, you get to pick category.
I will go with history for 100.
History for 100. This newspaper was published by Victor Strobel and his wife Anna for 37 years, ending in 1973. Ooh, Mrs. Buboltz, what is your answer?
What is the Ryle Shop? Oh, Ryle Journal.
What is the Ryle Journal? Judge, are we going to accept that answer? All right. We are going to accept that answer. All right, Mrs. Buboltz, you are in charge of the board. You are in command.
Demographics for 100.
Demographics for 100. 1,059 as of the 2010 census. Mrs. Free, you buzzed in first.
What is the population of Ryle?
What is the population of Ryle? You are correct. Demographics for 100. Can you say that again, Mrs. Free? History for 200. A racetrack was built at this location after a group of young men formed the Ryle Racing Association. We have Mrs. Buboltz. Click on the buzzer again. Would you like to answer?
What is the Ryle Fireman's Park?
What is the Ryle Fireman's Park? Let me see. I'm trying to think if I'm going to accept that answer. I think I'm going to accept that answer because it is, what is the softball field at Fireman's Park? So I will give you points, and how much was that one worth? History for 200. So you can add another 200 to your score. All right, Mrs. Buboltz, you are in charge of the board. Demographics for 200. Another daily double. So go ahead and do your wager, and let me see which kindergartner is coming up next. We have Sebastian from Miss Noby's class. Come on up, Mr. Sebastian. Give him a hand. 480 students. Everybody give them a hand. Thank you, Sebastian. What is your wager? 500. You have 900 right now, and you wagered 500. What is your answer? Couldn't be any more of a perfect answer. Congratulations. What is the enrollment of the Ryle Community School District? What does that bring Mrs. Buboltz up to now? $1,400. And Miss Kearney, you're still at 0, but that's better than being in the hole. And Mrs. Free, you're up to 1,000, so you are in second. Mrs. Buboltz, I believe you are in command of the board. Let me get my little computer to update here. All right, go ahead. Demographics for 300. 25% of Ryle's population. Mrs. Buboltz.
What are Norwegians?
What are Norwegians? Judge? No, that is not an acceptable answer. We'll hit the reset. We still have any other contestants can buzz in. Mrs. Kearney, what are Germans? No. Most of the answer is staring you right in front of you. Ooh, we have Mrs. Free. What is your answer? What are children? That's not, well, the judge is busy. So, I am not going to accept that answer because the correct answer is, what is the population of Ryle that are under the age of 18 years old. You were close. All right, no points given out on that one, but we do have to take some away. That was demographics for 300. Demographics for 300. We got to take some monies away. All right, Mrs. Buboltz, if I remember correctly, you're still in command, right? All right, Mrs. Buboltz, pick a category. Can you speak up a little bit? Demographics 400. 840 and 5 per square mile. 840.5 per square mile. Think. Where's the thinking music? We got any thinking music? Or no? Alright, we'll give you some time to think. I'll give you a clue. It has something to do with demographics. I think we stumped the teachers. What do you kindergartners think? Yeah? Gavin, are you having fun? Gavin's having fun. Gavin says he knows the answer. Is that true, Gavin? Do you know the answer? Oh, he doesn't know the answer. Alright, time is up. What is the population density of Ohio? What is the population density of Ohio? All right, Mrs. Buboltz, would you like to pick a category?
Category 500 demographics.
Let's finish it up. Demographics for 500. Think demographics. 38 years. 38 years. Mrs. Buboltz.
What's the average age of the residents in Ryle?
What is the average age? Judge, what do you think? Median, average, close enough? All right, we'll give it to you. It is. What is the median age of people who live in the village of Ryle? Give her a hand. 500. All right, Mrs. Buboltz, let's check out the score. You have 1,600. Did I say it incorrectly or did she? It is, what is it? All right, Judge. We'll go back to the judge. This is why we have you. What do you think? The correct answer is the median age of people who live in Ryle. And your answer was the average?
An average is the mean.
So I think we're going to have to take those points away. What do you think, Judge? All right, we are going to take those points away. We do not cover that topic in kindergarten, so clearly in 5th grade they cover that topic. All right, thank you to our judge, Mrs. Prochnow, also for signing in. We're going to take those points away. How much was that one worth? 500? All right, 500. We're going to have to take those away. I still believe, though, Mrs. Buboltz, you are in charge of the board again. Still.
I'd like give Mrs. Carney an opportunity to choose a category.
Ooh, I don't know. Is she trying to rub it in that you are behind in 3rd place? I don't know. History for 300. These people from North Wales came to the Ryle area beginning in the years 1843 to 1846. We have Mrs. Free. Mrs. Free, would you like to give your answer? Who are Norwegians? We're back to the Norwegians. Think less specific and more general. Mrs. Free, you can't ring it again. It's against the rules. All right. Mrs. Buboltz? Congratulations. Who are the first settlers of Ryle? They came all the way from North Wales. The first settlers of Ryle. That was worth $300. Another 300. All right. What one was that? History for 300? All right. Next category.
Geography 100 is
Geography for 100. This village covers 1.27 square miles as in located in Columbia County, Wisconsin. Mrs. Freed.
What is the village of Ryle?
What is the village of Ryle? That is a correct answer. Worth $100. Add another 100 to our total. Village of Ryle covers 1.27 square miles. Mrs. Freed, you are in command.
History for 400.
History for 400. This tragedy happened on October 28, 1886, when 22 of the 66 passengers were killed. Mrs. Freed,
What is the Ryle Project?
could you be more specific?
Ryle train.
Correct. What was the big train wreck of Ryle? What a tragic day that was. There was a train wreck. I believe we saw it in a video in a former Pops assembly, if I remember correctly. It was tragic. That was worth 400 for Mrs. Freed. Mrs. Freed, you are in command. History for 500. Ooh, another daily double. History for 500. Let's see which guest kindergartner is going to come up and read the answers. Mr. Jeremiah Kindrow, come on up. What is going to be your wager, Mrs. Freeman?
500.
$500, and you got 900. All right, you ready, Jeremiah?
This newspaper began publication in Ryle in 1902. It was published every Thursday evening with the motto, "We have the edge."
Thank you. Everybody give Jeremiah. This newspaper began publication in Ryle in 1902. It was published every Thursday evening with the motto, "We have the edge." And that should be a clue. What is the Badger Blade and would be correct? What is the Badger Blade? Who would have thought Ryle had 2 newspapers way back in the day? Mrs. Freed, would you like to pick a category? Geography for 200. 932 feet. Geography, 932 feet. Mrs. Kearney. You are correct. What is the elevation of Ryle? That was $200. $200 added on. Mrs. Kearney, would you like to pick a category? Geography for 300. Oh, another daily double! You are in the negative, so actually I believe the Jeopardy rules say you can bet up to $1,000. So, you can, what's that? We have a judge.
I think it's up to what it's worth, actually.
Up to what it's worth. We got a Jeopardy diehard here. All right, up to what it's worth. What is the question worth? 300, so you can bet up to $300. And we're at geography, so let's see what kindergarten is going to be our guest speaker. All right, this is my first time. Ashton, come on up. All right, Ashton, are you ready to read the answer?
This building is located at 207 Western Avenue in the village of Ryle.
Everyone give him a hand. I sure hope there's somebody in this room that knows that address. How much did you wager up to the amount, right? Is that where you're going? 500? All right, what is your... Oh, you want 300? Is it 300? I'm sorry. For For $300, do you have an answer? This building is located at 207 Lincoln Avenue in the village of Ryle. And if anybody in here knows that address, he is standing in the back. What is the Village Hall of Ryle? You are correct. Did my clue help you out? All right. All right, Mrs. Kearney, you are in charge. Geography for 400. This building is located on Lowville Road, and it was built in 1967, and an addition was built to it in 1996. Mrs. Freed, what is the Ryle Elementary School for $400? Mrs. Freed. Geography for 500. This first modern Ryle High School, located where the current Covenant home is, opened its doors for the first time in this year. What year was it that the first modern Ryle High School opened? Do we have Mrs. Kearney first on the buzzer? She's still thinking. We'll give her some more time. Apparently she rang in before she knew the answer. You have an answer yet? You only have like about 100 possible choices, so okay. I think your time is up. Mrs. Booble, it's you. Buzzed in second. What is 1911? That was a good. Yep, too late. You ready, Buzzkin? No. One of the first schools in Ryle was built in 1911, right downtown, but the first modern Ryle High School was built right over there on the corner in 1950. 1950. Yep, that was the first modern. That's what it said on the historical website. All right, Judge, what do you say? Judge? Judge, what do you say? Oh, okay. Rick?
1911 is a wonderful answer.
I believe it is. That's when the first actual school opened in the village of Ryle. Apparently, I should have wrote the answer a little bit better. All right, I totally forgot who's in charge. You're getting pretty hostile over there. All right. Mrs. Booble, pick a category. We have notable people and government and politics.
Politics for 400.
Ooh, we're right to 400. This place to learn, built on red brick, was built in 1912. So I was wrong. It was 1912.
That was your answer?
This is a different question. This place to learn, built of red brick, was built in 1912. What am I looking for? You guys kind of already gave me the answer. Nope. Alright. What is the village of Ryle's very first school was opened up in 1912 in downtown Ryle, but the first modern high school in Ryle was built in 19 and opened its doors in 1950. Let's move on. All right. It's getting pretty hostile over here. I don't know if I'm gonna make it out here. All right. Government for 400 is done, and you are taking notable people, 300. Sergeant Gerald Joseph Sleesman, 24, was a casualty of this war. Casualty of this war. Mrs. Booble, what is the Vietnam War? You are correct. 300. Notable people for 300. Using his position as editor and publisher of the Badger Blade weekly newspaper, Wilkie Collins advocated for this to become Ryle's first historical landmark. Think the present day. I think we stumped him. Oh, Mrs. Kern. What is the Ryle Airport? You telling me Ryle's an airport? Yeah. All right. What is the Ryle Railroad Depot? What is the Ryle Railroad Depot? Right downtown in the business district. Don't know how you can miss that one. All right. We have, I can't remember now who's in charge. That was 400. Notable people, 500. He first platted out the village of Ryle in 1864 and owned a larger part of the land now included in the village of Ryle. Mrs. Boobles? You are correct. I don't know how you knew that one. Who is N.B. Dunlap? Very good. That was 500. 500. We have one category left, government politics. We know where their weaknesses are because no one has picked that. We have Mrs. Boobles in second place with $1,100. Mrs. Free, you are in first for $1,800. And Ms. Kearney, you're still leaving here. Oh, and need $400. All right, government and politics. You picked a dollar amount. 100. In this year, Ryle was established when the railroad came through going west. And what year was that? Mrs. Boobles. Ryle celebrating 150 years. What is 1865? Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You are correct. What was 1865? Someone can do the math over there. Congratulations. $100. You're in charge, Mrs. B. Government politics for 200. This financial institution was organized in 1900 in the village of Ryle by 25 charter members, including Cleve D. Gates. Think of businesses. All right, what is the first bank of Ryle, or the Ryle State Bank? All right, Mrs. Reed. We're going right down the board. Government politics for 300. We have another daily double. And look at that, our kindergartner is up here right away. All right. Hang on there. How much are you going to wager over there before we read the question? And you guys keep an eye on her over there, make sure she's not cheating.
In 1846, this government office was established with Jacob Lowe as postmaster.
Thank you very much, Josie. Jacob Lowe established this as the very first. You are correct. What is the Ryle Post Office? What is the Ryle Post Office? How much did you wager? Only 300, she says, but she is in command. She does have the lead. Government politics for, did you say 400 or 500? All right. These two institutes of learning were established in 1848. One was run by Julia Stevens near Mr. Jacob Low's house. I know you know him, right? And the other was run by B.M. Webb. We definitely have a clue that they're not very good at government and politics. The answer's already up there. All right. What were the first two schools in the area of Ryle? All right, the answer is already up there. That's okay. All right, it is time for Final Jeopardy, I believe. We got the categories all cleared, right, Miss Nogi? So, my contestants, let's go over the scores. We have 1,000 for Mrs. Boobles. Mrs. Kearney is still in the hole. She's up to 100. Is that true? Oh, okay. So Mrs. Kearney's up to 100, and Mrs. Free, you have $2,200. So you need to wager up to the amount that you have. And Mrs. Kearney, I believe you can wager up to 1,000. Maybe that's the rules that I read, I think, on Final Jeopardy. I think. I'm not for sure. I'm never home before that time, so I don't know. All right, so do we have any thinking music for our contestants? When you have your wagers written down, all right, we have our wagers. Judge, make sure you watch their hands that they don't change their wagers. All right, here's today's Final Jeopardy question. Who is the best game show host of all time in the 150 years of Ryle's history? Go ahead and play that thinking music one more time while they write down their answers. All right, contestants, are you ready? Ready? Let's see those hands. I want to see the answers changing. So we start with Mrs. Kearney because she is in third place. Mrs. Kearney, what was your wager? $1,000. $1,000. And your answer was, who is Mr. Jared? What do you guys think? Is that a correct answer? Let's give Mrs. Kearney another $1,000. Congratulations to Mrs. Kearney. We have who is second place? Mrs. Boobles. How much did you wager? $1,000. We don't have a lot of players who like to take risks. And what is your answer, Mrs. Boobles?
Who is SpongeBob SquarePants?
Who is SpongeBob SquarePants? I don't know. What do you kids think? Should we accept the answer? No, we're not going to accept that. I can't believe she got this one wrong. Take $1,000 off of Mrs. Google's score. And next we have Mrs. Free. Mrs. Free, how much did you wager? Because you are in the lead. $1,000. All right, $1,000. And your answer was?
Who is Mr. Jared?
Who is Mr. Jared? You are correct. All right. Let's look at the final scores. In third place, we have Mrs. Boobles with 0. In second place, we have Mrs. Kearney with $1,100. We do not have any consolation prizes for second and third place, sorry. But thank you for participating in Ryle's 150 years and today's champion and upset the defending champion, Mrs. Free. We do have cash prizes. Yeah, we weren't going to let you go home empty-handed. No. Alright? I went to the very first bank in Ryle today, and I got you your cash prize. $100 bills. And how much money did you win? 3,200. I gotta give you 3,200 of these. No, 32. Look, they're $100. Oh, that's a one I'm in. The bank. We got. Anyways, we'll make it rain some money in here. This is free.